Hello and welcome back to the Educator series with me, Preethi Sunallinii, a parenting coach and family therapist. And with me here today is Roopa Kiran, a Montessori school founder and directress of Absorbent Mind, and she's also a Montessori trainer. Today, we're going to be talking specifically about how Montessori begins at home. So, if you think about a child's developing personality, there are three major elements that contributes to a child's development. First is the environment they're born into, right? We call it the SEER conditioning, the socio-economic, educational, and religious background. What kind of a society they're born into, what kind of a culture, what is the education levels within the home, what kind of exposure the child gets. So basically, the environment that the child is born into, that will determine the child's understanding of, oh, this is the world. I'm sure you would agree that a child that who is living in, let's say, Navi Mumbai versus a child that is living in a remote village somewhere to Bangalore to Chennai, I'm sure there is a difference, right? So that is the environment. The second most important factor, in fact, is the primary caregivers, most often the parents. The child comes from the parents, and how the parents are is what teaches the child to learn how to interact with this world that the child is born into. And the third is the child's own innate personality. Now, today we're going to be talking specifically about this second element that we spoke about. Being parents, we have a huge advantage. How can we capitalize on this advantage of being able to introduce the child to the world in a certain way? How can we capitalize on that? And how can we do that from the Montessori approach? What would that look like? That is what we're going to be talking about today. As we get started, let's hear from Rupa as well for her initial thoughts.
Namaste, everyone. Namaste, Preethi. Nice to be here with you, speaking to you. I'm also learning. It's always the process is all about learning because uh, every every year we grow, we are learning something new. Something new is coming in. There's no stop to learn.
Mm,
You stop learning, then I don't think so. There's anything left. So to keep ourselves fresh and nice and updated and all that, learning is more evitable. So, in the
mm,
same manner, the child is also growing to become an adult. So, in the process, he has to learn. It is the tendency, a human tendency to learn. It can be all living beings do learn. Though human is the only gifted living being who can speak. The speech is the gift that God has given us. Unlike even animals, they learn dogs, cats. If you see, they know how to nurture their children, and it happens so organically. They don't modify it. But here, man, because we keep on inventing new things and doing new things, and it's a gift given to us. But we should not modify the little world. It should be as organic as possible. So Preeti mentioning how to bring Montessori into the house. So as I told, Montessori is all about the prepared environment and all that. I know it's very difficult to have a prepared environment at home. You can have a small setup actually. Now, most of you people are living in nuclear families. You people have two bedrooms where, at least minimum two bedrooms you'll have, where one you
true.
can convert it to an environment for the child, where you can make it, you can arrange materials or whatever it can be, small, not inexpensive. I know nowadays spending is very difficult nowadays. I do understand, but still, in a small manner, whatever is possible around us, we can do it. Like say now till two and a half, the child is there. After that, also after school, the child comes back home. What is the child going to do at home in the evening? All this is there. So now, what is the major thing we have to work on to engage the child? How will you engage the child? Always you need to give work to the hands of the child to keep him busy. Through his hands he learns. Through his hands he is developing his mind. Through his hands he is growing to become an adult. He is working for himself. You cannot work on your child. The child has to work for himself to become an adult. It is his experiences he becomes an adult. It's his neurological development, whatever it can be. It's his work. He's going to be his, from his eyes what he sees, from his ears what he's listening to, and the response, the reflex he gives whenever you're speaking or conversing and all that, it's happening. It is all his own work. You are not doing anything much. You are just providing the environment around where the child is growing. It has to be conducive. What is conducive? Being, yeah. What is conducive? Conducive is being intact, apt to the age appropriate, age appropriate discussions, age appropriate, giving age appropriate material. Now the gadgets have become, it's boon or bane. Gadget is a boon or bane. It's become like that. You know, it's a boon. I don't know. Even for adults, I think it's becoming bane, not boon. Initially, it was like fun. Now it is becoming addiction. In the similar manner, children, what is happening is what I have seen with the children where parents are working. Many of them, they think while feeding you can give the phone so that visually the child is seeing and the child is eating quickly, because the time limit you have is only 15 minutes to feed the child. You have to go back to work. Do you think this is the right thing to do? Because the child is not even realizing what he's tasting, what he's swallowing, what he's smelling. At least the food, he should smell the food what he is eating. Amma ಎಷ್ಟು ಘಮ ಘಮ ಅಡಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ, at least that much he should realize, right? That opportunity we are not giving nowadays children because of this screen time. So avoiding screen time is the first thing, whether it can be big screen, small screen, anything. So how can we engage our children? They want to be, it's very difficult, at least, and grandparents are there. They are watching that melodrama, and all this is happening.
Absolutely. So, if we look at what you're saying, is that a child is learning to be an adult by working on themselves. Most of the time, parents are actually thinking, I am preparing my child to be an adult. But what you are saying is that a child is learning to be an adult. Now, if I can deviate a little bit over here, one of the things that um, one of the things that I've definitely subscribed to, having read a lot and through my trainings, is that a child is a whole person. The child is not an incomplete adult, right? So at any given point in time, we are not looking at children as, oh, this is a little human, that is an incomplete child. No, the child is whole and complete as
Whole.
they are,
Yes.
and they are whole and complete in every step as they are
Stage.
working on themselves
Yes.
towards becoming an adult,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
One of the I love this particular statement that Heather Shoemaker says, right? She says, you will not force a middle-aged person to prepare for their old age. You won't say, no, 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 you're just a middle-aged person, you're only going to become old, then you will be valued. We don't say that. Why do we say that to children? No, you're just a child. Where is this just a child coming from? Now, from the Montessori perspective, especially when you said a child is working on themselves to become an adult, can you put that in light of this whole child perspective as well?
Working, see, now we have, the child has to improve on his fine motor, gross motor,
Mm,
and all that, today he is what is that, he's finding it difficult to walk now because he's not developed yet, 10 months old or 11 months. By 1 year they'll start walking thoroughly.
correct.
Correct? That is the whole form of the child. Psychologically saying, it is the whole form of the child. At 1 year, by 1 year he should walk, he will walk. What is
Mm,
that you are doing for him to walk? You are giving early, what is that, those walkers and stuff like that. Yes. Sometimes the bones are very weak, they might develop a bow leg if you put them a lot on walker, because to control them we are putting them on the walker.
Before they're ready.
Because if I leave the child down,
Mm.
the child runs here, there, everywhere. The child is going on his knees, he's crawling everywhere, all over the place, pulling things. If I put on a walker, so he is there going around, and we know where exactly he is. And sometimes it is a controlled environment learning, this thing. I feel like we should give more time to child. I think we can take, now there are a lot of options of taking break, and a lot of things are there now. And even like environments are supporting, Montessori environments are supporting, you know
Mm.
the early ages and all that. There are Montessoris which are supporting. It's not that it is not there, especially in Bangalore. It's becoming more and more, it's spreading, by spreading. Then bringing it home, like with the fine motor and gross motor and all, like we can have two bowls, where we
Mm.
can have chana, big chanas in one bowl.
And pizza grasp.
Yes, for fine motor. And then spooning also we can do at the same time. So
Absolutely, yes.
how to sustain this interest? Now, same chana can be, I'll just change the bowls. Chana is same.
Mm.
Today it is steel bowl, tomorrow it can be a brass bowl. The other day it can be a colorful bowl. For
Mm.
child, every time it is fascinating, and he
Mm.
works in the similar manner. We have something called EPL, exercise of practical life, it is called. One of the topics in Montessori is, the subject in Montessori is EPL, sensorial, arithmetic, and language and culture. These are the areas we work on. One of it is EPL. So, lot of EPL activities can be done at home, like
Mhm.
kneeling down, do pounding. They love pounding. In environment, we keep this small gram and sugar a little bit, not exactly, but still they pound. They share it with everyone. They also eat it.
Mm.
So when the child is working, the child expects there is some purpose to it. He
Mm.
doesn't like if it is not taken into consideration, or if it is not given the apt importance. Say,
Mm.
if the child is doing chapati, in the chapati maker, the child is doing chapati. The purpose is he wants to cook it. At home, you
Correct.
can do it actually, because here there are so many children. At home, literally in the kitchen, you have one child. Now, most of the parents are having only one child.
Mm.
So you can do a lot of things with this child. Enjoy the process. If it is dirty, it's okay. Give him a small cloth, he'll wipe it. You also join the
Mm.
child wiping it. This is what the child likes at this age. The order, they love order.
Age that you're talking about is under the age of 5, I'm guessing.
Yes, yes.
So all
Below the
this that
age of
you've spoken about is
yes,
under
yes,
5
yes.
years
Below the age
age.
of 6.
Under the age of 6 years. Okay,
Below the age
so
of 6.
what you're saying is, in order to bring Montessori into the house, the three major things that we need to remember is preparing the environment age appropriately, having age appropriate topics that you explore through conversation, language development, and the third is material. The kind of activities that the child engages in should
Yes,
be age appropriate
appropriate.
in order for that to for the child to develop into their whole self in that age group. At every stage, what a child can do, the child should be allowed to do.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So one of the things I would like to add over here is, a lot of parents keep asking me, at what age should I allow my child to, let's say, jump up on the bed or climb the this
You're
thing? At what
nobody to allow.
allow my child to come into the kitchen? Or what age should I allow my child to clean up after themselves?
You're nobody to allow. The child himself will
Absolutely.
follow. Yeah, we are
Mm.
nobody. We are nobody to allow the child, because his development, the
Mm.
psychological development is such, the
Mm.
curiosity is there. We should not, we most of the time we kill the curiosity of the child.
Correct.
So next time he doesn't want to do it. See, in conventional, we were last time we were talking about conventional. Here, the child is sitting for 4 or 5 hours on the bench.
Mm.
Then later you ask the child, why are you sitting? Move. Why are you sitting? Do this. Because this is the practice the brain has got, that I want to sit
Mm.
on the bench and I will just listen to you. I'll just see. I'll not
Mm.
move and do with my hands. So this is the major difference. In a Montessori environment, everything the child has to do.
Mm.
So they
Mm.
are more active comparatively, they are more hands-on. They want to do it, they want to touch it, and they want to explore it, they want to speak more. Because the speeches I told you, like, freedom of speech is there, freedom of movement and freedom of choice is there. They want to make the choice.
Mm.
Here, what happens is we try to break it. So even at home, suddenly,
We
like,
try
I
to
do
break it
understand.
as in, what do you mean by that?
Pardon?
We try to break it, you said. What do you mean by
Break
that?
it in the sense suddenly we tell, oh, no, 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 you will spill. Don't
Ah,
touch.
okay, okay, okay. Got that, got that. So you need
Yeah,
to
we are
prepare the
breaking the flow.
environment in
Yeah, we are
such a
breaking the
way
flow.
that it is okay for the child to explore.
Yes, 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 yes.
Right, so that is one of the primary things. So when it comes, this is to summarize for the audience, when it comes to a prepared environment, I know it can seem like there are a lot of activities, ideas that Rupa is giving. To simplify that, what we can take away from this conversation is that we prepare the environment in such a way that the child has freedom. It's not that you leave the house as it is, you leave the environment as it is, and then keep telling the child, don't climb there, don't touch this, don't go here, don't go there, this is dangerous. Versus you prepare an environment where 90% of what they do is pretty safe. It is okay for them to do. It's very similar to for toddlers. I'm sure it's very common for people to क्या बोलते हैं ये corners, you smoothen that out, no, you put these safety
The
guards,
just safety, yes, yes.
right?
They just,
So
yeah,
they
they
say it is
hurt.
safety proofing, child
Mm.
proofing. Yes,
Correct.
child proofing the house. What does that mean? We are basically looking out for danger preemptively and ensuring that the chances of the child getting hurt is much less. Very similar to that, you prepare the environment in such a way that it is okay for the child to explore as much as possible. It's okay for a child to pull out the books that is there in a shelf.
Mm.
If you don't want the child to touch certain books, keep it out of their reach. You
Mm.
ensure what is within their reach are books that you're okay for them to explore.
Appropriate, yes.
You keep items, the kind of toys, okay, my child is dragging and putting everything on the floor, for example.
Mm.
Don't keep everything dumped within hand's reach. Right? You make that, one of the things that you brought up last time is also order, and order, patience, and discipline. So pretty much all of these three things go together. Right? We
Yes,
create
yes,
an environment that has order,
yes,
and
yes,
then we allow for movement for the child, freedom of movement.
yes,
Another thing you brought up is freedom of speech. When the child is asking you questions, when the child wants to express about something, it's okay to listen. And the third is freedom of choice. Allow the child to choose between activities that are available. Yes. So,
yes,
so far,
yes.
these are the things that I've gotten. And one more thing I would like to ask you is you spoke about four, is it? EPL, sensorial, arithmetic, cultural. Was there one more?
EPL, arithmetic,
Mm-hmm.
sensorial, and language. Language
And
and culture.
language.
Language and
Language
culture.
and culture. Okay, so when it comes to helping our child explore and learn within the home from a Montessori perspective, the
Correct.
first and foremost is practical life experiences.
EPL,
So
yes.
it's bringing them into the kitchen, helping them clean,
That's the
keeping a subject.
maximum at home. And
Mm,
they love
absolutely.
doing it. You must have seen, them sweeping and mopping and all that. They
Yes.
love doing it. Allow them to do it. Don't stop.
Beautiful. So the simple everyday things that we do, just involving them in those activities itself
Exactly.
is a
Yes.
life skill, practical
Yes.
life experience, wala
Yes.
sessions. And sensorial, what can you throw a little light on that? What do you mean by sensorial?
Sensorial is about, like last time I told, like, it's like swimming and cycling and all, which we don't forget for life.
Mm,
So it's hands-on learning. Like, we have cylinder blocks, we have long rods. Sensorially, we are learning to count the numbers. The
Now,
number
these are things that you do in a Montessori environment. How can I bring
environment.
the sensorial learning within the household?
Sensorial is all about, touching and feeling and working on it. It's about,
Mm,
counting. You can just bring these chanas and ask the child to count it or do things.
mm,
But this 2.5-year-old, but if the child is 3 plus and all that, they can, they understand a lot of things and they're doing language, phonics
mm,
they'll be knowing, and a lot of things they'll be knowing. But before the age of that, it is difficult at home. But you can give these, as I told, the sorting activity, pouring activity you can give. See, now
mm.
pouring activity is such, you should know the measurement of the glass. Once it is full, automatically the child will stop pouring the water, and that
Mm.
is how he learns the measurement or measuring. Okay, if
One
I
is
pour
small
this
and bigger.
much. Yes, and you can have different size glasses, and you can have a small jug or whatever you have at home. You
Mm-hmm.
can, from lota, you can use two glasses and they can pour, and coffee cups you can give and they can pour with that. And
Mm.
this is how they learn. With their small hands, they do, they might spill. Here also they spill, we wipe it. They
Absolutely.
also wipe it, we also wipe it.
Today, in fact, we have something called as sensory bins. At least it was the craze, when my son was that age. Sensory bins is where you have a dedicated tray where you put colored rice one day, another day these aquarium where you
Ah,
put different, sizes of color stones. Then another day you can simply put water with some ice bits, ice pieces of that. So basically engaging the senses and
yes,
learning, like you said, pouring activities, sieving activities, pulling activities when there are ribbons that are buried under the stones, under the
yes,
mud, etc. They
yes,
love to pull it out
yes.
and see how it's
Yes.
flying.
Yeah, they love it. Yes, they love it.
So
Yes.
these
See
are
here.
the
Yes,
sensorially learning
yes.
activities. Sure.
They absorb. Now, what happens is here, all children are not the same.
Mm,
Now, compared to, like, my first batch 22 years back, and I'm seeing now, children are more active. I would rather say they are very, very active. So we tell the parents, don't give sugar, don't give
correct.
biscuits. Everything is
Mm,
like adulterated, and everything, it's too much. Sugar is, it spikes the energy, instant energy. Sugar is actually,
mm,
and
mm,
sugar and salt is for us adults, we have made it. When
mm,
as a man we came, we did not know sugar and salt taste. We
correct.
ate the food that was available in the nature.
Mm,
Like dates has a good sweetener. Date is like, it's a very good sweetener. You can eat
mm,
dates. Then honey is a
mm,
good sweetener. It depends if the child is allergic to honey or something sensitive to the flower pollen and all that, it is. But you have different ways of doing it. Even what has happened now is with the milk, because they're injecting so much in the cow. So gut health has become a great deal now, because everything it is through the gut. So
mm,
I'm telling this because we see lot of high functioning and very active children nowadays. So
mm,
cutting down on all this will even help at home, and even the adults health will improve.
mm,
They are prone to become diabetic by the age of 35, 40 early. So now that also will come down. It's good for the adult also.
mm,
Along with
mm,
the child, let the parents also practice.
mm.
You know,
Modeling for the child.
yes, yes. So because of that, you are teaching indirectly that this is the way of living and this is the healthy way of eating.
Got that. Got that.
Hmm.
So we have spoken about EPL, we have spoken about sensorial, we have also spoken about food and culture in a certain sense. Arithmetic, how can how can we bring in Montessori into the home for arithmetic? And I also want to add this layer over here, or maybe we can come after this topic as well. Most of the time the idea of Montessori is limited to children under the age of 6, but Montessori is not just for tiny children, right? It's a way of life. It's something that you take on with every stage of life itself. So you can apply these concepts even for, let's say, children in the play age, children in the adolescent, preteens, and teens, all the way into adulthood, right? So, how would you bring that in? Maybe we'll take that after this. Let's complete the conversation around bringing arithmetic into the home with young children. How can we do that using Montessori approach? Can
See,
you
now
give us?
with counting, we are people here. So
Mm,
ultimately, where will we go? Ultimately, we have to be in the society and we need to know math,
mm,
isn't it? So it's a natural process. Even at home, the child can count how many glasses are there, how many spoons are you keeping on the table. When we give the arrangement, arranging the table for the dinner, arranging a dinner table or a breakfast table or a lunch table, you can encourage that at home for the child to arrange. So we are three people, why don't you just arrange the table? So three plates, three cups and three spoons or whatever it is, and pouring at
mm,
the same time, pouring the water into the glass.
mm,
This is all, it's very very natural with us. And the child even can look at the moon, watch sky watch. The child can do sky watch, and watching the moon daily, he can mark
mm, mm,
from a new moon to a full moon,
mm.
you know so
Nice
அமாவாசைಯಿಂದ
observation.
பௌர்ணமி வரைக்கும் they can mark just that. Let them draw one line. The child doesn't know to write the number. Let the child just draw. Let the child observe the sky.
That was
you know
exactly going to be my next question for you. So now all of the things that you're saying is very, like you said, sensorial, something that is okay, you count the number of humans in the house, how many people are coming for dinner, and you set the table. Now all of these are again more like practical skills, right? Mathematics, arithmetic especially, also of course involves writing. According to you, at what age should we ensure children start writing? Is it right that children as young as 2.5 are being forced to write ABCD and 1 2 3 and all of those things? What's your take on that?
First is explosion into writing. The first thing comes to child is explosion into writing at the age of 2.5, 3. You can see children are writing and scribbling everywhere on the wall. There's no limit to it. They're drawing everywhere, scribbling everywhere. They want to
Mm,
hold the pen and write. That is called
mm,
explosion into writing. So that
mm,
is the beginning stage of writing for the child. So don't
mm,
restrict the child. The number is made by you. Why are you in a hurry to, my child has to write now because he's 3? Not
mm,
required. The child automatically, once we have something called sandpaper.
mm,
Okay. To feel the child is still not writing at the age of 4, then we need to worry. By then, we can give something called sandpaper. You can allow the child to trace on the sand, trace on the rava, making the
mm,
child feel the sensory in the tips of the
mm,
fingers. That is, this
mm,
is the initial preparation is allowing the child to play with this rava and sand and lot of things, to make the sensory a little stronger. Or
mm,
else children at the age of 3.5, 4, when I see some children, because they are very sensitive, they don't want to touch the sandpaper or they don't want to touch the sand because it's a little pricky. It's
mm,
a little hard, it's so as early you give lot of activities at 1.5, 2 years of age. If you give lot of activities around these, then it becomes very easy for the child to learn further.
mm. So,
So
at
numbers
what
also.
age can we get children to start writing? I hear that you're saying at 4, if a child can't write, we should be worried. That's what I heard you say. When you say write, do you mean
No,
A, B, C,
no,
D,
no,
right, or
not right.
just A, B?
At the age of 4, in case the child is still not able to practice figure
I can't
quantity,
hear you. Sorry. Can you repeat that?
the child is not able to identify the figure. Like, say, the child is
Ah,
tracing 4 with the quantity
mm,
4. This is 4, and the figure is 4. Associating the figure with the quantity. That is very
mm.
important for us.
That
So
is at
here,
4 years old. The
yeah,
writing aspect?
writing aspect also automatically they've developed. Some children write faster, some children write a little slow. By 3.5, 4, usually they start writing.
They
So
start
what
writing
happens?
A, B, C,
Yes,
D, and
convention. No, not so much. They still start. They'll be tracing, and many they write, but few find it difficult also. So
Okay,
it
so what
depends.
I'm hearing from this conversation is there is definitely a confusion between everybody's definition of writing and what you are saying is writing. Now, what you're also saying is children will start, the explosion into writing is the scribbling bit. Children like to hold a crayon, gitch, 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 they go.
Yeah,
Right? So that
yeah.
is not called
Correct.
writing in a
That is
conventional
not.
sense. That's what you're
Yes, yes,
calling an explosion into writing, which is the preliminary stage that helps to develop the necessary muscles in order to
yes,
assist in actual
yes.
structured writing.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
At what age do we need to worry that a child is not able to structured write
Hold
letter?
the pencil structure by 4, 4.5.
4.5, two and a
Little
half
late,
years is not an
not
age to worry.
required, not required. Because conventional,
Mm.
this is what is happening.
Yes,
What
that is
parents are doing
exactly
is
what
they're
happened.
holding the child's hand so tightly and asking the child to write. There is lot of pressure which is going into the brain of the child. This tip
Mm.
is very sensitive. And you should never pressure the child with writing, especially. Don't press and hold the child's hand, right? Because you've got homework, trace. Please don't do
Mm.
that. Some
Mm.
children write early at the age of 3.5 and all. Many children are there who start, the tracing. First, initial format is tracing. A small
Mm.
putting and coloring and all this comes in. So regularly allow the child to
Those
color.
days we had a slate ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತಿದ್ದು ಬರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು. So that is what you're saying, right? Tracing.
Never happened. I
Very
don't
nice.
remember my parents sitting and holding my hand and making me write. Never. I don't think so. I don't remember. I don't remember that. Yeah, I don't remember it at all. They left me free, and we used to write. We used to do that, and it to be gradually developed. So this learning also should happen like mother tongue, absorbing. Like we are not sitting and teaching mother tongue. So even education should be like that. We are providing the environment, we are giving it. The child will learn it. It's his tendency. Either ways, he will learn. Please
Correct.
don't wreck your head because there is a test, because there is an exam. Here, that is one advantage where Montessori doesn't believe
In.
in marking the child or in
Mm.
checking the learning of the child through test and exams. Because
Mm.
a 4 year old, psychologically, the 4 year old around the world is the same, but his muscular development, his intelligence, everything will vary. It's their
Look.
surrounding. Yeah, we can't say that, see, the other child is writing, you have to write. My neighbor child is doing, you have. This competition, this is bad competition. This is
Mm.
very toxic thing which happens, which I have seen in parent groups and other places where I have seen this thing happens. And
Mm.
other parents are worried. My children are studying in between these children. I don't know how this my child is going to do.
Mm.
Many are worried and many are competing. So it's not required. Absolutely, it is not. We should keep it as organic as possible. The child will learn, the child will do his work, the child will carry on. No, somebody need not judge the child like that. It's not required.
This kind of reminds me of the statement you brought in at the end of last
Teach.
session,
Yeah.
teaching, not correcting, right?
Yeah.
So, one of the common things that I've seen both parents and educators as well is when a child has written, let's say, ABCD at the LKG level, UKG level, Montessori 1, whatever, right? There is this how you write A? No, write it again, write it neatly. No, why is this? So there is a lot of these correcting. That is where the hold and write. This is how you
Yeah.
should write. This is how it should be.
Yeah.
That comes in automatically, right? What is your take on that? What exactly did you mean by teaching, not correcting?
Yes. See, we are here. In Montessori, doesn't believe in correction. Okay.
Mm.
Here we have a book in school. Every child will have a book. This is our book. Like, this is child and the teacher's book, the child and the adult's book, where there is no correction done. We will
Mm.
give a topic, the child will write and the child will give. This is from grade one, I'm talking.
Mm.
But similar thing will happen in the lower classes also, lower grades also,
Mm.
where the child gives and we keep it. We check the book,
Mm.
what the child has written. So we see certain errors happening
Mm.
regularly, consistently. Like 2 days, the child has done the similar error. Say the child has done a sound or a sound or some sounds he is missing, or prefix or suffix. Somewhere things are not working with the grammar or something. What we do is we prepare the worksheet, or we prepare the reading material or the content pertaining to
Mm.
that. We will not tell you have done wrong there, because you have to read this.
But you have to.
Read this. You have done a mistake in yesterday's writing. You have done error in your yesterday's writing. That is why I have prepared this. You have to finish this because yesterday you made mistake. No, we will never say that.
See that.
Yes.
Mm.
We repeat instead of erasing. That's what I tell parents also. Instead of erasing, because how many of us, one time I will erase and write. If I'm going on doing this erasing, it will not work. Give a fresh page and a new sum.
Mm.
4 plus 4 is also 8. 5 plus 3 is also 8.
Mm.
You're getting? So we have to work like that. We need to keep on working with the child, not keep on correcting. Older children, they understand. If we sit and talk, older children actually, they do understand. But younger children, it takes time. So don't keep on correcting. This is wrong. This is wrong. Okay, we will try erasing it and all that. But certain places, we allow the child. After
Mm.
3 months, if you see same thing, it is so beautifully they have written. By the age of 6, they're writing so beautifully. Why the hell did I 1 month did I erase that page? Buh.
Mm.
Why did I erase it? It was not required at all actually. So that is
Mm.
how it goes.
In fact, as you're saying this, another thought that's coming to me is in terms of general, how to be in this world, what are the things that you can do, you can't do, etc. A lot of times parents go into this mode of, "Arey, bacha hai, arey, maguta ne, oh, it's so young,
Mm.
what do they know? It's okay, it's okay." And then
No.
suddenly, once the child crosses 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, this is
Then
not
it
how you're
becomes
supposed to do. You should have known this by now,
correct.
right? So you focus so much on correcting at that point in time when you never taught earlier, right? So this is also bringing that perspective for me. There's this is something that I usually talk about in the context of values and boundaries versus age. We give little boundaries, the younger the child, fewer boundaries we give, and as the child grows we keep correcting by giving
Mm.
more and more boundaries, which becomes very difficult. As against, you give maximum boundaries when the child is young. No, China, you don't touch this. No, we don't play with fire. Right at the start. No, we don't scribble like this on the wall. Right at the start. So by the time the child grows to the next age, they've already internalized these. You don't need to add that boundary. Right? That is internalized. That is also something that's coming up with this statement,
See, that's what
teaching.
bit scribbling thing. See, that's what. Instead
Love
of
that.
that, give them appropriate material to work with. Give them a
Mm,
paper. Keep a notebook. When you're
mm,
going out for a tea or a coffee or something. Now you know all children love coloring and drawing and all that. You can carry one book, coloring book, and one pencil and this thing. So the child will happily sit and color, and the child can trace. Yeah,
mm,
our parents do it. I have seen our parents when they go out there, take carrying. Few parents are there who are carrying it.
mm,
They're not forcing the child, come and socialize, come and socialize. Here in the adults, yeah, it's okay. It is left to the child. After that, if the child wants to play, he will play. It is
mm.
not that. Don't force the child to do things.
There is no forcing child to be with the adults. It is okay, take the phone, sit in one side as long as you don't interfere.
Yeah, that I have
That
seen.
is probably more than,
Now, yes, yes, that is what has happened now.
pushing the
Yes,
children to
yes,
socialize them.
yes.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Today, we've covered quite a lot of ground. We've spoken about how Montessori covers pretty much all aspects of life through sensorial learning, arithmetic, culture and language, and EPL, experience, practical
Exercise of
life,
practical life. Exercise of
exercises
practical.
of practical
The
life.
household chores is EPL.
Yes, and we also spoke about how we can bring in order into our prepared environment in the house to whatever extent possible. It need not even be a separate particular, like you don't have to make over the entire household. Even one particular shelf, one particular part of the house, that is where you can prepare the environment in such a way that the child has freedom of movement so they can explore, freedom of speech so they can express, freedom of choice so they can experience, right? So these are three things that we can bring into our home. Montessori pretty much begins at home, right? um,
To add with language, sorry, Preeti, to
yeah,
add
yeah.
with language, parents are supposed to read daily. Read,
Reading. So you
yeah,
want
that
your
is
child to build on vocabulary, you want your
yes,
child to
expression.
develop an interest in reading and
Yes,
subjects and academics, non non
every parent should read.
non-academic reading is where you
Very
invoke
yes,
that curiosity and enthusiasm.
yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for
Thank
that. And
you.
I also really, really love this aspect that you brought in, where testing and marking is totally not there in Montessori, because it is not something that we focus on in terms of correcting, but we focus on teaching. Even if a child
I
has
think
made
well,
mistakes, we don't say, look, you've made a mistake. We rather give them more work that will help them learn what's right, rather than pushing them to look at what they've done wrong. These are some things that I thought was really, really interesting today. And I think it will be really worthwhile for us to explore how, perhaps look at what is it that we mean when we say Montessori is a way of life. And it is definitely beyond just early childhood. It's not just for
yes,
children younger than 6, but for
yes.
older children as well. I think that is what would be a natural continuation of today's conversation. So as we come to the end of today's conversation, Rupa, is there anything else that you would like to add?
Nothing much. Keep reading. Keep reading for your child. That is the comprehension, the understanding comes only through reading. You're reading, so that comprehension for the child, not to be cranky, not
Mhm.
to throw tantrums. You should read for the
Mhm.
child.
So
Reading.
learning needs to come from enthusiasm and
Yes.
curiosity, and definitely not from force,
No, no, no,
coercion.
no force.
That when
Absolutely.
we kill curiosity, we kill the ability to learn, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for that,
Yes.
Rupa. That's it for today. We have pretty much come to
Right.
about 42 minutes today, 10 minutes more
Oh, we
than we
did
planned.
10 minutes.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
worries, no
Yeah.
worries. It was definitely a lot more engaging, and I'm sure even the audience would find this valuable. And we will meet you all again on Thursday evening, same time, 8 p.m. And we will be talking about how we can bring Montessori to older children as well. What does it mean? That's what we're going to be talking about. Stay tuned, follow us, subscribe to us, and we'll see you soon. Bye bye. Thank you, Rupa.
Thank you. Bye bye. Namaste.